Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com from Tapping.me, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I want to talk today about the emotions of it all because I think a lot of people misunderstand that, yes, they understand the emotional side of things, but they don't realize how it manifests into issues of all kinds. So I thought today I wanted to share some stories so that people can hear the connection. I think that's the biggest way to share what might really be going on, other than just saying, oh, yeah, it's great to tap and it can change your life and all the rest. And it can do all that. But when you hear the power of the stories, I'm hoping that you will hear the connection at a deeper level of not only what the physical symptoms are trying to say, but that they're really rooted in probably an emotional upset that then caused an imbalance. So the first story I want to tell you about, and I so remember sharing this with the mother of a lacrosse player who hurt his shoulder. And I remember saying to her what was going on in his life emotionally. And she kind of looked at me like I had five heads. Like, what the heck are you talking about? He's a healthy, strong guy, but he's playing lacrosse. I mean, people get hurt in sports, right? Well, yeah. But here's the thing. Sometimes when an emotional upset has weakened the flow of our energy or interrupted how, when you have an emotional upset or something that hurts you or grabs your attention, you react. We react. It's kind of human nature to do that. But what most people don't realize is it kind of causes a glitch or a sizzle in your energy that then creates an imbalance of some kind. Now, you're not going to physically see all that, but boy, let me tell you, it sure does work out through your body and even in non-physical ways. So here's the story. So he hurt himself, his shoulder, playing lacrosse. And as I was explaining this to the mother and I said, what was going on emotionally? Nothing. He just hurt himself playing lacrosse. But I kind of put the bug in her ear and she wanted to know because she was new to energy. She was new to understanding how the emotions can really put a sizzle in your energy. And so she asked him. Well, lo and behold, unbeknownst to her and probably to most people, he had broken up with his girlfriend. Now, that's a painful thing when you break up with someone. Even if you wanted, it can still be, oh, I lost the dream of what this could be, or I'm so disappointed or hurt or brokenhearted or whatever, a slew of emotions. If you've been there, you can run a huge wave of emotional upsets. She didn't realize that it happened before the game, and he wasn't consciously aware of that either. But that's just one way that a glitch in your energy, an emotional glitch, can interrupt your flow, kind of cause enough of a sizzle to make you a little bit weakened. And I'm not talking weakened in the obvious physical way. I'm talking just weakened like you've taken a hit, like you've taken a hit to your energy. So that's one story. I speak of this one personally. I had such a backache when I was working in advertising. And it would not go away. I was so unhappy at the place that I worked. I couldn't stand comfortably. I couldn't sit comfortably. I mean, I was really in a lot of pain. And amazingly, poof, when I left that job, quit, gave my notice and said goodbye, all that pain went away. It was the anger, the frustration. I'm not being heard. They don't care. They're trying to force me to do everything their way, taking away my individuality, trying to control me. And all of that was my body's way to say, oh, honey, you got to get out of here. It's causing you so much difficulty and pain. I didn't know that at the time, but miraculously, when I left that job, all the symptoms calmed down because those were messengers. They're not about to hurt you or to say, cut it out, get rid of it. Well, it is saying cut it out, stop it, in other words. But it's not saying, here, give me a drug to shut me up. It's saying, I'm trying to get a message to you. So you might want to keep that in mind. Before I go any farther, I'm talking about physical things, and I am not trying to diagnose, cure, or treat anything by sharing these stories. I'm not saying that I did anything with EFT ever along the line to release the physical ailments of any kind. What I'm talking about is what glitches our energy, what emotionally impacts us, and then causes symptoms. I'm talking about physical things because people so misunderstand those. But this can be about when you're blocking money, when you're blocking success, when you're blocking relationships, when you're blocking anything, or you're in that frustration loop that you're saying, what the heck is going on? Why isn't this working? I'm doing all the right things. So let me go on to another story. And I think I'm sharing this about the physical ways because I've been hearing so many people talk about things lately, and I think it's kind of misunderstood, or I want to give you a different perspective. Let's put it that way. So I remember doing a lunch and learn, brown bag lunch and learn at a company, and I was talking about how emotions can glitch you and how they can get stuck, and that can be any emotional upset, any kind of thing that has an impact to you that you've taken on, that your energy is kind of, had a sizzle to it, you know? So I was doing this lunch and learn, and I was talking about look back to when symptoms started, whether that be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, it doesn't matter. Think about what was going on when those things happened, or 3 to 5 years before they happened, because there's a cycle of the glitch happens and then the body gets out of sync, and then physical or emotional or mental things start showing up. And like I said, that can also be about abundance. It can also be about relationships. It can be about anything. It doesn't have to be physical, but it's more impactful when I can share how it affects you physically, just so that you can really understand. So back to this lunch and learn, I was explaining, think about when it happened, and a gentleman came up to me after the presentation, and he said to me, I developed high blood pressure, a heart condition, and high cholesterol all after my daughter died. I'm sure you can imagine the insight that he got from that and the connection that he made. Now, I can't say what would clear up those symptoms or those problems. It's not for me to say. Like I said, I can't diagnose, cure, or treat. But I know when you heal your heart, whether that be from a situation of someone dying or a situation of someone broke your heart and broke up with you, or there's been some kind of loss of some kind, grief is a huge impacting series of emotions. And anybody who's been through that kind of situation, whether it be from someone passing on or a breakup of some kind, or just a dissolving of long-term relationships, it's difficult and it hurts and it's emotional, but it can also have a really big impact on the physicality because you have glitched your energy now. And instead of being in the flow, everybody talks about the law of attraction and being in the flow. When you're in the flow, things work. When you're glitching, when something has interrupted your energy, symptoms start showing up, whether they be physical, mental, emotional, financial, whatever. And people don't put that together, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to share some of these stories. Another story that seems purely physical, and it was physical, but it was emotional first, was the story that I have about working with an Olympic athlete. I did do a presentation at the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid, New York, and I was offering to do a few sessions so that I could show the impact of what it does to an Olympian, to an athlete, to a person, what happens when your energy gets glitched. And so I said, I would be happy to work with some athlete that you think is having a problem. I'll do 5 free sessions and we'll see where we go and see what can change. And that's exactly what happened. So the clinic manager at the Olympic Training Center talked to me and talked to one of the athletes. She was a 27-year-old woman, and she was a bobsled driver of a 2-man, 2-woman bobsled team. She had injured her knee, thoroughly depressed, thinking her career was over. The healing wasn't happening. So here's the backstory of that. And I have permission to talk about this story. So she had been doing this for 4 years and was gaining momentum, but she had made the decision in her mind not to work out in any other way other than her normal workout routine. In other words, she didn't want to be playing sports or doing something that could possibly cause an injury that could sideline her career. She got a new coach. The coach wanted to pull the team members together, kind of rah-rah team building. Let's all play soccer together. She really didn't want to do it. That was kind of one of her rules. I don't play sports other than my normal workout or my normal sport because I don't want to get injured. Well, as you can imagine, that's what happened. So she and her coach were going for the same ball at the same time, and they had a collision, which ended up with him kicking her in her knee. That ended up in surgery, and I was meeting her 13 weeks after her surgery. She still had a level 6 out of 10 pain. She felt like she had a hole in her knee. She was thoroughly depressed. She wasn't able to do her workout the way she wanted to. She was afraid her career was over. And bottom line, she was not just angry, beyond angry at the coach, because what he was doing was minimizing what had happened to her knee. So he would say, "Are you still complaining about your knee? Ha, ha, ha." I think he was so bothered by the fact that that happened to her. Nobody wants to hurt somebody else, right? All that emotion was now locked up in her knee. I didn't listen to my intuition, and I played a sport. My coach kicked me in the knee, and he hasn't even said he's sorry, and he's blowing off that it's no big deal. All that frustration, all that worry, my career is over, all those things were now hurting her knee. I know this sounds like a physical issue, and it was, but there's an undercurrent that was keeping it alive, and that was emotional. When we cleared up the anger, the frustration, the worry, the devastation my career might be over, the fury that she had at her coach, she started healing in a very fast way. And in fact, I had gotten word from the clinic manager at the time that said, this is unprecedented results of how fast she's healing. Within those 5 sessions, which was 5 weeks, she not only got cleared by the medical professionals there to be able to go back to training, but she was competing again in early December. And I met her in October, middle of October. My point is to stress to you that what seems like the symptom that you want to shut down, fix, pay attention to is really the messenger. Most likely, it's not the problem. Can I say that across the board? I don't want to say anything across the board, but I just want to give you an idea. There's a lot underneath. If people have had a glitch to their income with a tragedy, you have now maybe anchored those two things together, and your subconscious is saying, if I go near that, that same kind of tragedy is going to happen again. If I create my wealth, if I increase my income, that same kind of tragedy can happen again. This is not about intellect. This is not about logic, but it is very strong. It is very impactful. And when you realize that some symptoms that show up are really a messenger for something that has to be healed, and I'm not talking healing as in guru healing, I'm talking emotional upsets, smoothing over things that you've really held on to, not only emotionally, but physically, that have gotten locked into your body. That happens a lot, and people don't realize that. So my point of doing these audios is to share what's really going on underneath, what could be going on underneath, so that you have a better understanding to know where to look and why things might not be healing. If you're going strictly for the physical or the obvious of the symptoms, you may be missing all the emotional or shocking upset that happened energetically first. If you know of anybody that this information could be shared with, that it could help them, that it could bring some insights to them, please share it. It makes everybody more comfortable when you can understand what's really going on. And it's not just, will you just get over it already? If it's locked in your body, you're not going to just get over it. Chances are you might not just get over it. Not going to say never, not going to say it never happens or it can never, just dissolve, but why not give something a helping hand instead of shutting down symptoms or emotions or looking the other way from your emotions? You might want to use some tapping to go into those areas. And I just want to add, it doesn't have to be traumatic. If you're working with an EFT coach, there are ways that you can take down a trauma or an impact so that you don't have to relive it and go through trauma all over again. And I think that's the biggest thing that causes fear among people to go near their emotions. If there was something that was really hurtful, who wants to relive that again, right? The problem is, if you're resisting it, your body could still be holding on to it, your subconscious mind can still be looping in it, and you can't figure out why the heck you can't release it. Let it go. Be done with it already, right? I know many people, all my clients, that's what's happening to all of us, not just me or you or them. It's happening to all of us. So when we educate ourselves about what else could be happening, it's a really important thing. And then you can seek the right avenues for releasing those traumas, those dramas, those hurts and things that you think are just physical when they might be much more emotional. As always, you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You can like my page on Facebook to keep in touch. And if you know anybody who wants to be added to some of my information so that they can get these newsletters and information from me, have them send me a note, Joanne@trueauthenticpower.com. And that's JOANNE @trueauthenticpower.com. Until our paths cross again next time, here's to your true authentic power. Bye-bye for now.